Namaste everyone and welcome to another class of Yoga Vidya. So today we will start first with the exercises and I'm not going to spend too much time with the exercises because as I told you towards this session I would like to take us into Sharira, Kosha and Bhutas and all of this in the sense of awareness. So let's start off. This is just the unlimbering part. And first, we will start with the eyes. So look down and then rotate. Turn your eyes to the left. Look up. Turn your eyes to the right. Look down. Turn your eyes to the left. Up. Right. Down. Now turn the eyes the other way around. To the right. Up. Left. And down. Right. Up. Left. And blink your eyes to remove the experience of spinning. Now turn your eyes to the right, head to the right, and go down. Turn your head to the left. Look up. Go as far as possible. Right, down, left, up, right, down, left, up, the other way, left, down, right, up, left, down, right, up. So roll your shoulders forward, down, back, up, forward, down, back, up, forward, down, back, up. The other way, back, down, forward, up, back, down, forward, up. So now spread your legs to the distance of your shoulder. Lock your hands and then slowly breathe out and turn as far as you can to the right side. Breathe in, come back. Breathe out, left as far as possible. Come back. Breathe out, right as far as possible. Breathe in, come back. Breathe out as far as possible. Back. Now we will roll the hips clockwise, right, back, left, up, right, back, left, up, right, back, left. Now the other way around. Left, back, right, up, left, back, right, forward. Okay, so now we will do Tadasana. Take your leg, try to touch the Muladhara and then take your hand as far as you can, breathe out and stretch. Then the other leg, then breathe out and stretch. Okay, so we come back. Now, as I've said before, you can either sit in an asana of your choice, can either use Padmasana is the preferred position because it makes sure that you are completely firm. You can use either Chin Mudra or you can use Dhyana Mudra. Make sure that your tongue is touching the upper palate to close the prana flow. So, as I've said before, the prana flow comes at the extremities. At the extremities, you have to close it so that the prana is trapped in the body itself and it is not flowing out. So, when you do this, what happens is that the prana flow gets trapped depending on the mudra that you use. It moves to certain points, but it remains within the body. And when you touch the tongue to the top, it closes the circuit there also. Somebody's got their microphone on. Can they, everybody mute their microphones, please? Thank you. Okay. Now, focus on the breath. Feel the breath entering the nostril. Feel the breath entering the nostril. Feel the breath going past the bridge of the nose. Feel the breath entering the nasal cavity. Now relax the brain. Relax the brain. Relax the brain. Relax the left side of the brain. Relax the left side of the brain. Relax the back of the brain. Relax the back of the brain. Relax the right of the brain. Relax the right side of the brain. Relax the front of the brain. Relax the front of the brain. Relax the eyes. Feel the muscles of the eyes relax. Feel the muscles of the eyes relax. Feel the cheeks relax. Feel the cheeks relax. Feel the throat relax. Feel the throat relax. Relax the shoulders. Relax the shoulders. Relax the shoulders. Relax the chest. Relax the chest. Relax the back. Relax the back. Relax the back. Relax the stomach. Relax the abdomen. Relax the abdomen. Relax the legs. Relax the hands. Feel the whole body relax. Feel the whole body relax. Bring your focus, bring your awareness back to the breath. Breathe without using your will. Let the abdomen breathe, do the breathing. Feel the abdomen go in and out, pulling in the air and exhaling it. Feel the air pass the nostril. Feel the air pass the bridge of the nose. Feel the air enter the nasal cavity. Feel the air go past the throat. Feel the air enter the lungs. Now I will begin the breathing, the counting, and then you can control the breathing if possible. Control it using your abdomen. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Breathe in. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Breathe out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Breathe in. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Breathe out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Breathe in. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Breathe out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Relax, relax, relax. Keep your attention on the breath using your abdomen in a relaxed position. Relax and observe your abdomen. Just observe the abdomen. Do not enforce your will on it. Just let it go in and out. Be an observer, not a participant. Okay, come back to the present and please give feedback. Was this doable? Did you all have any trouble? Hello? Did you all have any trouble?
No trouble, sir. Doable.
Okay. Okay. Now we go into Nadi Shuddhi. Nadi Shuddhi will be again 4, hold 4, out 6, hold 6. Okay. So we'll do 3 rounds of this. Again, come back to Sthita position, that is your starting positions. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Breathe in left, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Breathe out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Breathe in right, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Breathe out left, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Breathe in left, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Breathe out right, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Breathe in right, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Breathe out left, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Breathe in left, hold, 3, 4. Breathe in left, 2, 3, 4. Breathe, hold, 2, 3, 4. Breathe out right, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Breathe in right, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Breathe out left, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Relax, relax, relax. Sorry for the fumbling. I lost it a little. Okay, we will do Kapala Bhati. Kapala Bhati, as I have said, is a very useful technique for multiple reasons. One is when you take your abdomen in sharply, you are doing two things. One is you're hitting the backbone and reversing the electrical impulses so that the impulses go into the brain, and it results in a kind of a reverse feedback, biofeedback happening, and that results in the brain beginning to get more agile. The second thing is the act of pushing the abdomen inside. What it does is that the viscera, your entire abdominal viscera, this is a bag. So when you pull it inside, all the intestines, the small intestine, the large intestine, the stomach, the, the duodenum, everything is held loosely using ligaments. So when you pull it inside, all of this gets moved, the whole thing, and each massages the other. So there is a kind of a mutual massage of the various organs within the abdominal viscera, all the abdominal viscera, and this results in increased blood flow to the entire digestive system, and that in turn increases peristalsis, which means that it increases absorption of nutrients as well as it increases apana. That means your ability to it will, you won't be constipated and things like that. So it is a very useful pranayama to practice. So this time we'll just do 10. I hope people have been practicing the. So here it is. So those of you who have practiced, please do try, and we can and then let me know. Okay. Uh, have you all been able to get? Everybody's comfortable. Is everybody comfortable? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Good. Thank you. Now I'm going to go into the various koshas. I mean the sharira first. So there are three types of shariras. The first is called stula sharira, or the gross body. The gross body is what you can actually see and feel. The subtle body, or the sukshma sharira. Sukshma means the subtle. Subtle body is one which is experienced. For instance, the taste, we experience pain and things like that. Those are internal. Okay, but that's not just that. There is a lot more to sukshma, because it goes right down to the finer points of existentiality. And lastly is the karana sharira, that is the causal state. So a lot of the causal state we will be discussing in Bhagavad Gita. But causal state is, if you want to call it, the raison d'etre, the reason why you exist. So each of us exists is driven by certain parameters. We get driven by certain things. So that is unique to most of us, and that in turn determines how well we can experience our sukshma sharira, or the subtle body, and the stula sharira, or the uh, um, gross body. The interesting thing is, the stula sharira is what others observe of us, they see of us. The sukshma sharira is largely internal, we experience it. So when stimulus comes to us, it is that which we experience. Our reaction, or the the stula sharira, or the gross body, is what others say. Now I'm going to go to, so we'll park this here, and then I'll go to the various koshas, and then we'll connect this and that. Okay, and thereafter we will have a discussion, because it's very important that you understand this, not just in terms of the body, but in terms of your existence in reality, or whatever is perceived reality. So there are five koshas. The first is annamaya kosha, or the anna is food. Okay, annamaya kosha, that is the, okay, the important thing is your yeah, I'm recording, this is being recorded. um, the annamaya kosha is that Maya, by its virtue, by the virtue of the Sanskritam dhatu or the root, is a phenomenon. So nothing in our system is considered permanent. Everything is considered to be a phenomenon. So the saguna, we have got two parts, right? One is the nirguna and one is the saguna. So the saguna part, which is the Maya, is a phenomenon. So our own existence is a phenomenon or a farce. Our farce has got the three parts. One is the Sthula Sharira, Sukshma Sharira and the Karana Sharira. The grossest of them all is the Annamaya Kosha, or that which is driven by food. Then you have Pranamaya Kosha. That is all this that has to move, or it has to display itself. Like this is a phone. It has to display itself, or it has to manifest in the environment. That is driven by a motility. Motility is prana. Prana is often used as a life force. You can use it as a life force, but that is not an exact definition. Because life force generally means that if something does not have it, it does not have prana. Unfortunately, prana is everywhere. So even this has a prana. Otherwise, it cannot manifest. So while you can use the word life force for prana, it is not an accurate term. So I use the word motility. Motility means that which is actually, it is also an inadequate term because it is something that is there everywhere, and it is the one that is used to drive the existence of any entity. Next comes Manomaya Kosha. Manomaya Kosha is, you see, we all are existing in this environment, and the way I exist is determined by the how the stimulus is received. That is, if I look somewhere and I see something, for me this becomes real, right? Now each of us, therefore, today in class, I'm looking at the screen, but I don't know what is beyond that. So I am purely dependent on the stimulus that comes from the screen. So I've got my eyes, I've got my ears, I've got my skin. All of these are giving me data. This data has to be collated at a single point, right? That single point where this data is collated is the manas. Manas is not the mind, because in our system, if you cannot measure it, it does not exist. Manas, you just cannot say loosely is the mind, because where is the mind? There is no definition of the mind. Mind is not empirical, whereas cognition, where this data that comes in from the various senses goes and gets combined, collated, is called manas. That is a specific. It may be an imaginary place, but it is still specific. It is not loose. So we use the word manas for cognitive collation. Thereafter, that data gets compared with our conditioning, the way we are as natural people, as individuals, and that is called dharma. So when the manas data gets compared with dharma, and in dharma what is included? Memory, intelligence, intellect, all of that. The ability to process data is part of dharma. So part of buddhi. This is called buddhi. The comparison is buddhi, and then your asmita then takes over. That compares it with whatever comes in, and then your feeling of doership, ahankara, makes you act. So what happens is that we are at the end of the day driven by ahankara. So when we stop feeling the point of doership, what happens is that our existence begins to get more subdued. But the key is the point where that data is coming in and getting collated is called manas. So this is called manomaya kosha. This is the third part. So we've got annamaya kosha, we got pranamaya kosha, and now we have manomaya kosha. All of these are phenomenon. Please remember, these are all phenomenon. These are all illusions. The thing is that we think it is reality, but actually it is a phenomenon. Then lastly we have Vijnanamaya Kosha. Now Vijnanamaya Kosha is we are interacting with the world. We think it is real. That is the way we are, because for us, if I was to hit myself with this, I will experience pain, and this might break along with my head. The thing is that this is both for me a weapon, then as well as an instrument. My relationship with my environment is very personal to me. So whatever my mind tells me, thereafter I interact with the world according to my ahankara, and that is very unique to me. So understanding the drivers of dharma become very critical for me to relate to um, the external environment. So that is called Vijnanamaya Kosha. And lastly, we have Anandamaya Kosha. Now, Anandamaya Kosha is when you have completely merged with the Brahman. What is that? That means you have no ahankara. Okay. When you have no ahankara, what happens is that you are completely at a point where uh, you are merged with the Brahman. What I'm trying to say here is, have you all noticed that from the gross to the subtle, from the gross body to the causal body, there is actually a greater state where you are unable to define in very clearly what is actually going on. This is the uniqueness of Yoga Vidya, because if you are saying that everything is a phenomenon, it means that it has to become personal to you, which means that it is pratyaksha. You have to experience it yourself. And this is a very critical aspect. If you have to experience it yourself, you have to first be able to experience Annamaya Kosha. Annamaya Kosha is what we do in the beginning of the class. We say relax this, relax that, relax that. So what happens is that you become aware of the body itself. Pranamaya Kosha to some extent comes with the relaxation of breathing. But it doesn't stop there, because as what you need to do is, when you begin to observe the abdomen, take in the breath and release it, and you have to observe. What happens is that slowly, first thing you'll notice is that there is a difference between the left and the right side of the body. This is the sun side or the Ida, and this is the Pingala or the moon side. So you will see that the movement of certain energies within these two sides is different. When that happens, first is that, and thereafter, as you begin to get more and more aware of the movement of energies within the body, you will be able to feel energies going in different places. This is a very important step, because this too form what we call the Stula Sharira or the gross body, because these are direct experiences. You can directly experience this using your intuition or your senses, your Manas. Now the Manomaya kosha is a far more subtler thing. Now here I am going to dive a little into detail. So before we get into the Sukshma Sharira, I'm going to ask you if you have understood the Annamaya kosha and the Pranamaya kosha. Have you all understood that? At least, uh, please ask questions, because then what happens is that if I have not been able to completely explain everything, we can take it further. Has everybody understood it?
Sir, the Vijnanamaya kosha, I am a little confused, sir. To
Okay,
what
no
you
problem. That I have not yet come there, because
Okay.
we have to first go to Manomaya kosha. That is where the
Achha.
panchabhutas, the bhutas we will be looking at. Um,
Okay.
so I'll get there. No, not to worry.
Okay.
Um, because there is an overlap between Manomaya kosha and Vijnanamaya kosha. So we will do that. But right now, let's stay with the Annamaya kosha and Pranamaya kosha. Have you all understood that part? Yes, everybody understood that part. Okay, fine. So far the feedback is that Annamaya kosha and Pranamaya kosha is available. Are you all able to experience it? Now the question is not whether you have understood it. Now I'm going to take it to the next level. Have you all? Are you all able to experience the physical body? Okay, let's not go there, because Manomaya kosha, this will become more important. Like I said, Manas is a point where all the data comes in and it is collated. Now let us look at what are the points of data. The points of data, the starting point, whenever we breathe, it's important that I'm going to take off this, because I think I'd like to explain something. When we breathe, what happens is that air goes from inside, and there is a point of intersection here. The air will travel into the nasal cavity this way. The nasal cavity turns inwards like this. So the air is directed from here. They are called turbinates. These are like fins. The turbinates drive the air over the um, nasal cavity. And when it goes over the nasal cavity, what happens is that on top of the nasal cavity, there is something called the olfactory receptors. Okay. The olfactory receptors are the first point which tell you that you are alive. Why? Because just behind the olfactory receptors, we have called something called sphenoidal sinuses. The sphenoid sinus is like a dabba. It is an empty dabba, and it is like this. So the air is coming like this, hitting the sphenoid sinuses, and on top of that you have the olfactory receptors. This is a sense of smell. So the air comes, hits the sphenoid sinuses, and this begins to vibrate. When this begins to vibrate, you begin to get the sensation of life, that I am alive. Which is why during pranayama, I ask you all to breathe without, so that the flow is clean, clear, without breaks, so that as this air begins to hit without too much of breakages, this vibration will reduce. When this vibration reduces, the amount of stimulus that goes into the olfactory will go down, and that reduces the level or the impact of stress on yourself. When you are upset, you will begin to breathe that way. You will begin to take short breaths. Your breath will become jagged, and that begins to impact the sphenoidal sinuses. That goes and impacts what is called the amygdala. The amygdala is a repository where it directly goes and stimulates what is called the pituitary hypothalamus adrenal axis. When that happens, your adrenaline glands release what is called cortisols and adrenaline, and that prepares you to either fight or to run away. It's called fight or flight, and that disturbs the homeostasis or the body's equilibrium, and that in turn changes the way your body is secreting various hormones. So it's very important that you recognize that the first point where the stimulus comes is to the sphenoidal. And that is why when you walk, there are sinuses here, there are sinuses here, and these sinuses are very important for sense of touch and the sense of being alive. But the olfactory senses are the sense of represent Prithvi or earth. Your sense of smell is equal to the sense of earth. Why? If you will notice, there are panchabhutas, there are five bhutas: Prithvi, Apaha, Agni, Vayu, and Ether, right? Akasha. Both Akasha and Prithvi are holding agents. They do not by themselves move, they are static. Now, if you will notice, if there is something that is neutral like this, if I was to breathe this, there will be no stimulus. Why? Because by nature, the nature of earth and space is there is no smell. It's very important to understand this. When water falls on earth, when rain falls on earth, a smell comes. And that smell, only when something, either generally water and earth are friends, and air and space are friends. So the flowing agent is held by the holding agent. Space holds air, the earth holds water. So the river flows in a water. The river flows in earth. The air flows in the space. These we need to understand are very similar, but in different their natures are different. Okay. So the first part is the sense of smell is defined by earth. What defines the sense of water, rasa, taste? If you will notice, that is the only defining thing. So when there is some amount, when water comes into the mouth, you will have no taste. But when you have put a little turmeric or you put a little lemon, automatically the taste changes. Why? All these have got a certain amount of earth in it. The third thing is sight. Sight is driven by fire, which is why I keep telling you all, calm the eye muscles down, because the minute you calm the eye muscles down, the way you see your darshana automatically becomes calm. It will never become calm completely, because fire by its very nature is not calm. It is transforming all the time. Iron becomes steel because of fire. Everything, no matter what, if you don't use Agni, you cannot transform anything, which is why Agni is used in our homas. It is not anything else. Why is Agni used in our homas? Why is Agni used as a postman? Because every time you put something in Agni, that is transformed. So when you do a homa, first what you do, you clean the place. Then you do prana pratishtha. You do pratishtha of Agni. And then you make the Agni into a effective messenger. And then you do the homa. So that you tell him, boss, please take this message to this person or this entity. And that is why Agni is the sight. depending on the kind of stimulus you get, immediately you will change. And that is why Agni is not relatable to any of the other bhutas. By itself, it's a standalone. And also, this is why in science, thermodynamics is the most important subject. Thermodynamics, in thermodynamics, you have work and you have exothermic reaction, endothermic reaction. All these reactions where you either take out energy or take in energy, these are all critical aspects of sight, fire, and in the body, the eyes are the representative of fire. For space, for for uh, um, for Vayu, that is air, it is the skin, because you feel it coming. When there is no feeling, you are in neutral position. And lastly, you have space. Space is the ears or sound. Pranava comes from Akasha. And fundamentally from Pranava, all the others. So the root is Brahman. From Brahman comes Akasha. From Akasha you have Pranava. Pranava say all kinds of materiality begins to evolve. So then the Vayu starts moving. Then you have then there is an explosion, and you have the Big Bang. The entire from a thermodynamic basis of thermodynamic, you have water, and from water you have air, earth, and that's how the evolution of materiality happens. So this is a very important principle that we need, because all of this is internal. And so the key here is you have to understand the natural state of everything that you encounter, and that is a very important principle in yoga. You have to understand, you have to be aware of the defining principle of all the matters, all the material that you are encountering. Have you all understood this part, the Manomaya Kosha part? This is a slightly difficult part, but I want you all to understand the Manomaya Kosha part. Can you all, is there any questions? Please ask the question, because this is, we must completely clarify this part before we go to the next part. Are there any questions? Ramon sir, you're okay? Have you understood everything?
Yes. I could
Okay.
follow most, but I think it needs some more reading or some more, not immediately. Yes, I think we need
Okay,
to.
now I'm going to make a small request. All of you, try and look inside yourself and see the earth is anything that is related to smell, the water is related to taste, fire is related to sight, then your air is related to feeling, and lastly, the space is related to hearing. And whenever you are now doing anything, when you touch something, from here we'll go to Vijnanamaya Kosha. That is, now that you have known, now we have got this particular uh, fundamental concept. Now let us look at this when we look at our environment. Whenever we interact with anybody, the first thing that we see is the physical body. All of us interact only with the physical body. However, if we are able to look at the other entity not as a physical body, but as something that is equal to ourselves, and we are able to go beyond the physicality and look at the pranamaya kosha, the manomaya kosha, then what happens is that we begin to view the other entity without duality. Duality means subject and object, good and bad, right and wrong. So we begin to view the other object in a manner like it is me, it is I. Aham Brahmasmi becomes a reality. Tat Tvamasi. That is you also. So what we are doing now in this class is trying to break the barriers which separate us from our environment, which is the Vijnana. So there are two ways in which our prajñā or awareness can move. One is outside and one is inside. When you move the prajñā outside, it will first of all identify the Annamaya kosha, the material part. Thereafter, if you are able to see what drives that thing, it is Pranamaya kosha. Then your ability to identify it using your senses. And lastly, your ability to slowly break down that particular barrier that is there between you and that becomes the Vijnanamaya kosha. So there what happens is that there is no difference between you and that. And that is a very critical part. And let us be honest, it is not easy to do. There will be 4 or 5 stages. First is Kshipta. You will be confused. You're in a scattered state. Thereafter, as you begin to apply the principles, then what you get is Muda. Muda is you begin to hold on to certain ideas as correct. Then you come to the third stage, which is called Vikshipta. Vikshipta is where you are now saying that, okay, I am beginning to veer towards this. And then you begin to slowly release all those things which you think are useless to you, but you begin to hold on to certain things and you get a single point focus, which is called ekagrata. So it is like a funneling effect begins to come. You have Vikshipta, Muda, Kshipta, Muda, Vikshipta, and Ekagrata. And then lastly, you become Niruddha. Niruddha means what? You are merged. There is nothing, your consciousness is not moving. Now, I have not spoken about the impact of the consciousness on the Chitta on this, because that adds another aspect of confusion. That we will take in the next class. But we have to basically grapple with this particular aspect, because unless we understand the fundamental difference between normal, I hate to call it Western or otherwise, and our way system is that we do not consider ourselves to be different from anything. We consider ourselves to be the same as anything. And not only that, in the sameness, we try very hard throughout our lives to break that barrier which seems to exist between us and our environment. And that is a very, very different way of thinking. And that is the fundamental driver of our dharma, what we are as a civilization. And so there are, again, I'm going to throw some more terminologies. These terminologies, we will keep talking about it over the next few weeks until it becomes natural to you. And this terminology is how you will evolve. So, oh my goodness, so it will come back to me. Okay. Sorry, the terminology has slipped because it's very important. That this is an important thing that I wish to talk about. Sorry, I will come back. I will take this in the next class. Are there any questions so far? Somebody, I think Lakshmi Madam had spoken about not wanting to, not understanding Vijnanamaya kosha. Madam, have you understood the Vijnanamaya kosha?
Actually, I will not say I understood everything, sir. All this is a lot of new information coming my way. But based on your initial points, no, when you told what koshas are, based on that, I couldn't grasp Vijnanamaya Kosha, meaning I lost track. That's why I asked. But it's okay, sir. I think I will continue to listen. And as I listen, I think I will learn.
See,
Thank you,
the
sir.
fundamental problem now is we are
Mm,
all wedded
mm,
to the present. We are wedded to the physical existence. This is the way we have been taught since childhood. We have not been taught that this is a phenomenon which is meant to be experienced. Which is why, if you will notice, we do namaskara to our elders. To what are we doing the namaskara? Are we doing it to the person? No. Why? Because if you will see, we call elders as Mahanubhav. Maha those that have got great experience. What is the experience that they have? They are meant to actually have an experience of non duality, of not experiencing others as different from themselves. Do you understand what I'm saying? That means that everything that we are supposed to do, we are actually meant to transcend. We are not supposed to treat anything with too much of like or dislike. We are supposed to know that everything is temporary, and at the end of the day, we must treat everything with dispassion or vairagyam. When you start practicing vairagyam, you start actually practicing Vijnanamaya Kosha. They are all related. Do you understand what I'm saying?
okay, sir.
Is it
Yes, sir.
slightly better? Is it slightly better now?
Definitely, sir. Definitely. This point that you said about just letting it flow, not having specific rigidity about whether we understand it or is it something which makes sense. Not like that. Just listen to it and let it flow is
Yes.
what you are saying. I'll do that, sir. I'll not be too tough on myself to try to understand because all this
Yes.
we are amateur. I may not get it instantly. So I will as days
Absolutely.
pass.
I mean, you raised a fantastic point. We must
Yes.
learn the first rule of yoga is be
Yes.
kind to yourself. You
Yes,
have
sir.
one life. You have to try and hit Nirvikalpa Samadhi. It's not easy. The first rule is be kind to yourself, be patient.
Yes.
We will
Yes, sir.
continue to do this until we regress to a point where, at least to some extent, we are able to feel the silence, the homeostasis, the complete state of stasis within ourselves. We'll continue to keep talking about it, but I have one request. Each of you will have experiences. Please share that experience, because after 2000 years of invasion and of not having the subject being taught as a natural process, for us it is a learning experience. Each of us has to confront this and learn, which means that it becomes hard because you have to unlearn something that has been told to you as correct, and then you have to learn something completely new. This is not easy. Even I am facing enormous amount of difficulty in overcoming those biases which are deeply ingrained within myself. So if you share your experiences, what will happen is that all of us will grow simultaneously. All of us will grow, and hopefully within us we will find rishis or rishikas who will in turn drive us to samadhi or moksha, because that is the ultimate goal of life. Yes, Jayashree madam.
Yeah, sorry
Yes,
to
Jayashree
join.
madam.
Yeah, sorry to have joined late, but still I'm just fascinated by whatever little I'm hearing. So my perception is when we don't get into that zone of understanding and only focus on the experience, I think it helps me.
Correct.
There
So
should
what
not
happened?
be.
So each of us is gifted with a particular kind of life.
Hmm,
So there is a flow.
hmm,
Okay. One is prarabdha karma. That is,
hmm,
this is what is given to me.
hmm,
Second is, this is what I am. That is our vasana.
Hmm.
Neither of us is in our control.
Hmm.
So, just like when you have, suppose you have a pipe of water. I mean, you have a hose pipe.
Hmm.
The hose pipe, let us say you are flowing, you are throwing it at your garden.
Hmm.
The pressure of water that is at the nozzle
Hmm.
will be directly dependent on the lack of kinks that are there in the hose.
Hmm.
Correct?
Correct.
So that is what. So if for as long as you don't fight, so the hose, if the hose is clean, the water
Hmm.
flow is great.
Hmm.
The second is if you put your hand in front of the water which is flowing, automatically that resistance will stop the water from going. So what I'm saying is your life is given to you in a particular manner. That flow, if you do not try to fight it and just become part of the flow, you become an observer. That is called vairagyam. You become dispassionate. You're observing it, you're participating, but you're not attached to the outcome. You're not attached to the, you're investing, yet you're not attached to the outcome, or you're not attached to, I mean, you're not, you don't have expectations. Those expectations are you're willing to take whatever comes to you. When you don't fight it, you're much calmer. Have you understood what I'm saying?
I am experiencing and this bit that expectations. I'm unable to cut that out. Expectations are there, but my ability to accept disappointments is increasing. So
Correct.
disappointments don't now they don't bother me. If it happens,
Correct.
it happens. So that's the kind. Yeah.
So you are becoming a Mahanubhavu. Your
Uh-huh.
Anubhavu is such where you are able to accept an outcome without judging it. You understand? So that we will take in chapter 3, where Sankalpa becomes an issue, free will is an issue that we will discuss in Srimad Bhagavad Gita when we go to chapter 3.